What is going on, guys? Welcome to your very first tutorial in advanced game development using the UDK. Now, a lot of you guys already watched my beginner series in the UDK, and for those of you who have not, I strongly recommend you go check out that series. It gives you basically an introduction to the core concepts behind UDK, and this series right here is going to be for the more advanced stuff. So I didn't want to put it all in one series, so that's why I decided to split it up. But for those of you who have completed my series, welcome back. For those of you who just, are hard-headed and you guys decided you are not going to watch my beginner series, then let me introduce myself. My name is Bucky Roberts, and yeah, that's my introduction. There you go. That's all you get. So anyways, like I said, this tutorial series is for more of the advanced concepts concerning the UDK. So we're going to be starting in this tutorial, which is working with physics objects. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is, well, in the last tutorial, what we did is we basically learned how to add things like static meshes, which are basically just, plain old walls or things that don't move. Now, in order to make something move, we learned about something called matinee. And, this was if you have a door that you bump into, you can open it, or if you want to play a simple animation, you can do that. But it really didn't provide an incredibly interactive gaming environment. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do in this tutorial through the use of physics objects. Now let me display what a physics object is real quick, or let me talk you guys through it. If you have like a box, or say a tank or a piece of wood in your game, you can go ahead and shoot it, but if it was a static mesh, it would just stay there, it wouldn't move. But in real life, if you shot it, it would move around, bounce around. That's what we're going to be doing in this tutorial right here. So with all my talking, let me go ahead and shut up and finally show you guys how to do this. So I'll go ahead and open the content browser and clear everything out by hitting all assets, X and clear. And you're going to want to go ahead and search for static meshes. Now I'm just going to go ahead and narrow it down by deco right there. And let me go ahead and find a good one that we can use. Something not too big because we're going to be shooting it. I saw a statue that was pretty cool, but we already used it. Ooh, this one looks pretty neat. See how excited I got there? I think I got a little overexcited when I saw that statue. But okay, so here is how you turn a static mesh into a physics object. The very first thing you need to do is double click it, and then its properties are going to pop up. And let me just go ahead and shrink this a little bit. There we go. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to add a collision, a collision mesh, I guess you could call. I guess you could call it. So if you go ahead and click this button, it shows the collision. And that's a nice collision mesh, but we want something even more simple because the more simple your collision mesh is, the faster it's going to load during game time. So this is actually a pretty good one right here, but if you go ahead and up to collision, you change it to 6DOP simplified collision and go ahead and replace it, it's going to give you the most basic collision. And for this tutorial, since I'm just demonstrating, we're not really making a real advanced game. I'm just demonstrating what collision is. This works a little bit better than that more advanced collision. So if you have a mesh that doesn't even have collision, that's how you would add it. Just going up to this collision drop box down here and choosing a collision and hitting yes. Now that's all we really need to do, but another thing we might want to do is change the mass scale. Now if you hover over it, says it basically is the amount of mass in it. So by default it's 1, but if we go ahead and change it like to 0.25, then this object becomes less massive. So why would we want to change the mass? For example, whenever we shoot it and the mass is 1, it's going to move around a little bit. But if it's less massive whenever we shoot it, it's really going to move around since, it's a lot easier to move when an object is less massive. So those are the two properties that we really need to be concentrating on. So once we got that taken care of, just go ahead and hit X and we are good to go. However, we probably want to make sure that we save this. So if we go ahead and right click and hit find package, we can just go ahead and find this package and save it, and we should be good to go. Oh, it's going to take a long time to save, are you? Let me see if I have a story to tell you guys. Nope, I don't. So now that this object is saved, we can finally add it to our screen. So go ahead and make sure you have this object selected, and we can actually just go ahead and X out of this content browser. And since we have that object selected, all we need to do is right click anywhere on a screen and hit add rigid body, and it's going to add our rigid body right there. So now we got our new and improved static mesh with all our physics properties added to our gaming environment. However, it's not complete yet. What we need to do is, with it selected, go ahead and hit F4 on your keyboard, and what this does is it brings up the properties for this KA actor. And by the way, I probably didn't mention this, but a KA actor is different than a regular static mesh because a KA actor is basically an object that has physics properties applied to it. So a static mesh like this wall over here, we can shoot it, but it's not going to move or anything since, it's just a static mesh. Its purpose is to stay there and not move. However, this KA actor, whenever we shoot it, it's going to move, bounce around, do a bunch of cool stuff. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we have selected wake on level start. This basically means as soon as our level starts, then it's going to start acting like a physics object. So of course that's what we want. They should probably have this selected by default. So, if anyone's watching out there from, the Unreal company, you might want to look into that. So anyways, just go ahead and hit X, and now this is good to go. This is going to be active as soon as the level starts. However, for the purposes of this tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be right clicking and hitting add static mesh. So now we have something to compare it to, a physics statue and a regular static mesh statue. So let me go ahead and rebuild everything just because I haven't built everything in a while, so I want to make sure everything's up to date. And once it's built, I'll give you guys a demonstration of, let me just say, oh, it's not bad, not bad. So close and hit play from here. Now check it out. Whenever I shoot this one, that's my static mesh. It isn't moving. But whenever I shoot this one, oh, look at him go flying. Oh, and yep, he fell off the edge there. But that's basically a difference between adding a static mesh and a KA actor, which basically is, well, a static mesh that you can shoot and move around. Definitely a lot cooler. So there you go. There you guys have it. A physics object introduction. So if you didn't quite understand something about this tutorial, trust me, just watch the upcoming tutorials, and I'm going to be covering everything I covered in more detail and definitely give you guys a better understanding of physics objects. So we definitely have a lot of work to go concerning physics and also advanced game development, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.